and welcome back. Today we are joined by Planning Committee member Geni Picazo. Geni, can you please introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Geni Picazo, and I am a member of the UAC Planning Committee. I am also the president of OPA membership, and I am also the operations director for Kepler College.
Nice, nice. Okay. So a little outside of the sponsor representation here. I like it. Um, quick, I guess, operations question then about OPA are you the membership itself president or like
Yes.
how does their
So
structure work?
OPA in 2023 created a dual organization. So they split away from membership and they created a foundation organization that manages all of the certification intensive workshops, all of the magazine, all of those pieces. And I retained the presidency of the membership side only. So we deal with our members, our member needs, and certification.
Okay. Cool. Cool. All right. So how long have you been with OPA then?
I've been with OPA about 10 or 11 years now.
Nice,
Hmm.
nice.
Yes.
So is there overlap then with your time with UAC?
Yes, actually, in 2018 was my first UAC conference. I went as a member or as an attendee, I guess, and I was the principal person behind the OPA booth at UAC. So I spent most of my time talking to people coming asking about our organization and talking about UAC and the wonderful experience that everybody were having at the UAC 2018.
Nice, nice. So you were in the trade room or the trade
I was
show.
in the trade. Yeah, I was in the trade show for sure.
What was that like?
It was really an experience because you had a cross section of people. You had the YouTubers over at the one side of us. We had DeLeo King, the YouTuber. He had all of his cameras set up, and then on the other side we had somebody that was doing aura readings. So
Ooh.
you had quite a cross section, and right behind us was Kepler College. They had their booth, so you had a cross section of people that had. Education that were providing education, YouTubers that were providing different type of information. You had the people that were just there to do readings and give their skill set out there. Also, Michael Erlewine was just down a couple of tables from me, so it was really great to go and just sit down with this iconic person to sit down
Mhm.
and talk to him. And he was so gracious about talking to any of us. Yeah, come on and sit down and just chat.
That's
It was
so
great.
nice. That's so
Hmm.
nice. I think, the trade show is a great spot to really just sit down and, or if you can, I guess, there are a bunch of booths, but to connect with so many people in the community and so many different organizations and businesses and everything. Can you tell me a little bit more about your experience as a whole at that conference?
The conference I will tell you, as a first time attendee, it was a little bit overwhelming.
Mhm.
I I had been to some smaller conferences. I'd been to NORWAC. I had been to the NCGR in Baltimore. But this comes together. This is 1,500 astrologers all coming together, different levels. Somebody is doing a podcast over in the corner. Chris Brennan was doing a podcast at the time. And just the table of where you can put um, your card down and connect with other astrologers. And then just the socializing, we had the extra event, we had the cruise on the river, which was really a great event. You have 500 astrologers in an enclosed place for a couple of hours where you're cruising down the river, able to meet other people. I know that I was a little bit drawn back, so be a little bit more forward when you're there because you do feel overwhelmed, but we are all the same. They had a great information booth where you could talk to people. There was the little areas to sit down and little cubby holes to sit and just sit down beside somebody and start to talk to somebody about astrology, where they came from. I mean, you have people from all over the world at different levels of astrology. We will be having that Zen area on, I think it's the sixth floor, isn't it?
I think
It-
so.
yeah, more information about that, where it's a more of a quiet place that you can sit down and talk to people, do a little bit of yoga or whatever.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah, I love that. And I, good point. Come prepared to be a little bit more open because if it's so much bigger than any of the other conferences that we have because it happens so much less frequently than the other ones. So don't go in expecting it to be as intimate as some of the other ones can be.
That is
Um,
exactly true. Hmm.
what can you tell me then about your experience in the city itself?
The city itself, as we all know, once COVID hit, post COVID, everything is different than what it was before, especially our online experiences. So we are
Yes.
now more online than we ever were. Classes are taken online. We can network online. Then um, those options or those the software, the availability of software is so much better. But Chicago, that whole center city where we're going to be, is far more visitor centric than it was in 2018. When Melissa, when we went down just in April to
Mhm.
visit, to do a tour of the hotel, all of those businesses downtown are looking for that visitor experience to be positive. So make sure you go downtown, you go walking around, find out. There is so much more. We have gone from one thing to a completely different experience. It was blues and wings, and stuff like that. Now we have different experiences. For
Mhm.
example, there's the drag show that is just it is
Yes.
huge down there right now. But if you're that's not your thing, there's music, there
Mhm.
are shows, there's a planetarium, there's just a walk around town. I know that our what is Mallory, her
Oh,
role, she's
hospitality.
the hospitality
Mhm.
will have possibly coupons or maps for you to go and check things out. So certainly we are encouraging you to explore the downtown area. It is just going to be fabulous.
I will say the food was amazing. I'm definitely like when I go to a new city, I need to find out all of the good food. And it was so, so good. Which it's the Midwest. The Midwest has good food. I might be partial because I grew up in the Midwest, but it was really good food.
That's a really good point, Melissa, that I've been a vegetarian since, like for the last 50 some odd years. For me, getting a good vegetarian or vegan food has been very difficult.
Mhm.
2018 it was very difficult to find anything really good vegetarian. You ended up eating, if you're not vegan, you ended up eating a lot of eggs or whatever for protein because it wasn't anything that was balanced. But you go to any of these restaurants, they have a really good solid vegetarian and vegan
Mhm.
option that will keep you with really good nutrition over the week that you're there. You won't be feeling hungry, all of these things. So explore, because it
Yeah.
is really, really good.
Yeah, I feel you on that too. I have celiac, so I have to eat
Oh,
gluten-free. And that's part of the reason though is I loved food. I still love food. I loved food before my diagnosis. And so going to Chicago and going to these restaurants where it's just like, it's the city, so of course things are just marked. And it's so nice. It's to like find new experiences on a menu like that. Um,
exactly.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons that I love the opportunity to go out to Chicago. Then I feel like you had said this before when we were just chatting. It's very much like you're going for UAC. Chicago is kind of the perk. So because we're going for UAC, I get to try out these new restaurants and everything, or
That's
like you
right.
were saying, the drag show or the planetarium. Um, okay. So kind of shifting gears though, can you tell me a little bit then about your work with the planning committee specifically?
Sure. I don't have a specific role with the planning committee like you do or like any of the other planners. I am the assistant to the coordinator, the main coordinator. So I get ad hoc jobs. You want to do this? I need you to do this. Can you have this done? And so I go and ferret that out and work on whatever is being given to me. Or on long term, we're looking for different venues or whatever. So doing a little bit of research and trying to get some information back. And from a big city that has a lot of different departments, it's hard to get that information. That's why it takes so long for us to, get any good information out on our website to say, oh yeah, we're going to be doing this, we're going to be doing this, because they haven't gotten back to us. But yeah, so mine's more of an ad hoc, but whatever they give me, I do.
And it's helpful though, because it is so much work. Like something of this scale, we, I was chatting with somebody recently, and we were looking at the timeline, and from the moment pretty much of, okay, we're doing this, it's been nearly a year and a half. Um,
Yep.
and that's a lot of work that goes into creating something like an experience this big, because I know, we've been in the meetings talking about the different events that we're going to have on each of the nights and all of the different elements that are going to go into that, and how can we make that the most, financially feasible but still as exciting as possible, like balancing all of that. And you've been extremely helpful in that. So, thank you.
Well, it's an experiential approach.
Hmm.
That's what we want. So it's the visitor, again, visitor centric. We want the experience. We want to create something that is an experience for the person coming
Hmm.
in. And if I am coming by myself, because I'm a solitary astrologer, so I'm coming to Chicago. I live in a small village, and I come in. I'm overwhelmed with, oh
Hmm.
my God, am I in the right place? So we want that thing to be pared down for you to feel welcomed so that you can come in and find your way. You can walk into the trade show and be able to talk to somebody if you're overwhelmed. Going the trade show, I know that the last time they had meet the authors
Yeah.
time. So and I'm sure they're going to have that as well. So this is a time to meet authors that you have read their books. New books are being there, like talk to Stephen Forrest, talk to Maurice Fernandez, talk to all of these people that have books. That gets you um, less overwhelmed. That gives you the impetus to go and talk to somebody else. This is a way to do it, to find friends. Different organizations are going to
Hmm.
have, meet and greets. That's going to be a big thing if you can come those first few days so that you can meet and greet and find other people that you can connect with, go out for lunch with, or whatever. Hey, I want to see this person speak. And yeah, that's somewhere, what is your background? Those are all great things. And it doesn't matter whether you are somebody who's just starting out in astrology, somebody who wants to have a business, or just an astrology enthusiast. I love astrology and I want it to be part of my life. I don't want to do anything with it. I don't want to be a professional, but I love astrology. Come to this. This is the place to be. As you mentioned, this is kind of the Olympics, the the World Cup without the sports, but with the network,
Hmm.
with the information, with the experience, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, come with your business cards or the QR
Yes.
code to your Instagram or your website, because it is such a lush time to make those connections and to expand like your communities.
And that's important. Even if you're just an enthusiast, it doesn't cost a lot to go on Vistaprint or whatever and get some cards made up that give your Facebook
Hmm.
connection or your Instagram or whatever. So now you automatically, if somebody picks it up, now you're networking.
Hmm.
You don't have to have a business, you're just networking.
Yep. Yep. I love that.
Yeah.
All right, Jeannie. where can viewers find more about you?
I do have a website. It's genipicasso.com. Um, I do need to update a little bit more because I've been very busy and have been negligent in that. But I what I normally do, I am the background, and I love being the background, the working hands. So I'm the basically the working hands behind OPA. I'm the working hands behind Kepler. I try to do a low profile. Recently, I was invited to do an Alaskan cruise with Anne Orderly
Ooh,
at the end of June, where I gave a talk on progressions on progressed moon and how that is your weather vane on a daily basis to watch that. So those things that's what I do. I will be doing giving a talk at UAC as well.
nice, nice. I will definitely have you back on to talk about that and talk about, you as an astrologer. But thank you so much for joining me today to talk about UAC.
Thank you so much for having me, and keep up the good work on social media because that's a tough one. I love
Thank you.
it.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us today. You can find new episodes on our channel every Monday and Wednesday, continuing through to the United Astrology Conference in 2026. We also invite you to attend UAC 2026, taking place in Chicago, Illinois from September 3rd to the 9th. As the largest astrological conference in the world, UAC offers an unparalleled opportunity to deepen your astrological studies and connect with a global community. With over 270 lectures, more than 180 esteemed speakers, and 1,500 attendees, this gathering is a cornerstone event for both seasoned professionals and dedicated students of astrology. For details on registration, scholarships, volunteer opportunities, or advertising, please visit uacastrology.com or refer to the links in the description box below.